Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, but today we're going to be doing something very differently. We're going to be looking back to see if Donald Trump would have won in 2020, what would America look like in 2024? Would we be a very Republican country? Would we be more Democratic? What would have happened if Trump won in 2020, and how would history be different? Now, as I was looking at the 2024 election map, it would be Dean Phillips versus Nikki Haley. And I can come to this conclusion after, I took a screenshot. In the 2024 Democrat primary, Joe Biden won with 87% of the vote. Dean Phillips came in second, so if Biden wasn't, Biden would have even become the nominee in 2024. If Trump would have won in 2020, Biden would not be the nominee in 2024. So then Dean Phillips, whoever that guy is, would be the Democrat nominee. This is getting interesting. So, and if you're wondering why I picked Nikki Haley to be the Republican nominee and not Ron DeSantis, here's why. So AI gave me this. In 2024, Donald Trump won the popular vote with 76.42% in the Republican primary. Nikki Haley won 19.68% of the popular vote with 97 delegates. Ron DeSantis got 1.59% of the popular vote and 9 delegates. So that means Nikki Haley would have been the Republican nominee in 2024. So she would have been the second woman nominated for president. Was she win though? Let's find out first. And let's also take a look at this. It shows Donald Trump in the lead with 61%. But what confuses me is Ron DeSantis only got 9 delegates and 1.59% of the popular vote. But yet he's ahead of Haley. He's beating Haley, which makes absolutely no sense to me. But if you want me to do another video where I have DeSantis as the nominee and not Nikki Haley, let me know in the comment section down below. So yeah, it would be Nikki Haley. So in 2020, let's go ahead and let's fill in the solid blue states for Joe Biden in 2020. Now we already know Joe Biden would, wait, I gotta fix this, hold on. We all know Joe Biden would win Washington, Oregon, and California by a solid margin. He would also win Hawaii by a solid margin. He would also win Illinois and New York. I gotta make sure I do this right. Vermont, Connecticut, all of these would go solidly blue. These are the solid blue states. And Maine's first district would be solid blue for the Democrats. Now the solid Republican states will be, sorry, I'm looking at data to kind of see who would be leading. Here we go, Nebraska large, and Nebraska third. Alrighty. Indiana would also be solid. Kentucky, West Virginia, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, South Dakota, North Dakota, Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, Utah. Now this would be the solid states right here, and districts. Joe Biden would be at 183, and Donald Trump would be at 106. I am personally more Republican than you guys may think, but I'm going to be completely unbiased in this video. Because if you are a Democrat or a Republican, I want to find common ground to see if you guys will both agree with my data here. Because I don't want to ponder to one side and be completely biased, because that's not fair to everybody else. So, I gotta figure out these names. Hold on. Likely states would be Iowa. As we know, Iowa is a very likely state. Kansas has been shifting kind of more left in a way. Texas, Florida. Florida. No, Florida would not be. Florida is not likely. Okay, here we go. South Carolina would be likely. Ohio would be likely. Okay. Alrighty. Now, this also means that Nebraska's 1st district would be likely. Maine's 2nd district would be likely. I'm just filling in the map for you guys. And Alaska would be likely. Am I missing anything? Now, what would be likely for Joe Biden? You got Colorado, New Mexico, Minnesota, Virginia. Okay, here we go. And New Hampshire. Wait, and Maine at large. Wait, guys, while we're looking at this, look, it's 226. If we remember, that's what Harris got in 2024. Yeah, Nebraska's 2nd will be lean. So, let me make sure I got all of these states correct. Yeah, so now we're essentially left with this. Now with the lean states, this, we have Florida. Now, my question is, with Florida being lean in 2020, why was it not considered a swing state in 2024? I know Trump won Florida by a lot in 2024, but with this low vote for Trump, wouldn't it be likely to consider it a swing state? Or maybe they had data to prove that it's trending heavily to Donald Trump. Now, we have essentially left the swing states. Let's look at this though. Trump started off at 218 in 2024. To Harris is 226. But in 2020 it would have been, Biden would have gained an extra electoral vote. Where would he have gotten that from? Probably New York or Illinois. But now with the swing states, we know that this was also lean for Trump in 2020. Now with these states left, all Donald Trump needs is Georgia and Pennsylvania. Oh, no. He needs Georgia, Pennsylvania, and any of the other bars. So this makes it even more difficult for Donald Trump. But in 2024, he would have won with just those 3 states. Why can't Biden win that one and Trump win that one so it can be all? It should be winner take all. I hate how we have to have districts. But okay. Now let's remove those 2 states. Now, Georgia, as you know, it came down to the nail biter. But like we said, what would happen if Donald Trump won the election? So he would have to win Georgia. And on this map, I also have him taking Wisconsin by a narrow margin. Now, yes, I also have him taking Arizona. But also in this map, I do have Joe Biden taking Nevada by a hair. Okay. But however, now if Joe Biden was to win both of these states, it would be a electoral vote tie. So yeah, Donald Trump would win Pennsylvania on this map, and he would also win Michigan on this map. This would be, in my view, the 2020 election if Donald Trump had won. Now, since this is the most accurate map of what would happen if Donald Trump won, what would happen if in 2024 then? After Donald Trump's second term, many people call it the second term curse. So this is gonna be kind of tricky because nobody knows who Dean Phillips is, and nobody knows who Nikki Haley is. Okay, who is Dean Phillips? I need to know. Okay, Dean Phillips. Oh, nice looking guy. Okay, he's a politician in Minnesota. Okay. Now, on this map, Donald Trump's gonna have a good second term because he'll be able to accomplish Trump's agenda, which would be extremely good for Republicans. But I do think that he will. No, I think he will carry Vermont and Massachusetts, and what am I doing? And a solid area. And I also think that Maryland and Washington D.C. There ain't no way Washington D.C. will ever go Republican. And if it ever did, that would blow my mind. Maine first congressional district. And Washington. I feel like California would kind of tilt a little bit. But wait, let's remove California. Oh my lord. So, solid blue states is just 12. Wait, no, solid blue states is just 40 electoral votes. Now for the solid red states, we have Utah, Idaho, Montana, West Virginia, Wyoming. It is 1:30 in the morning. Okay, I'm trying to do this at 1:30. North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska at large would be solid. And Nebraska's 3rd congressional district would be solid. Kansas and Oklahoma would be solid. Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, South Carolina, West Virginia, and Kentucky, and Indiana. Those are the solid states, in my opinion, for Nikki Haley. Now, I don't know much about Dean Phillips, but I'm gonna vote. I would vote for Nikki Haley, in my own personal opinion. Now, for the likely states, let's do likely for Democrats. Oregon, California. Okay, yeah. Yeah, Oregon and California. I feel like Nikki Haley has more appeal because more people know Nikki Haley than they do Dean Phillips. I don't even know who Dean Phillips is. Like, if you go in the ballot box, you're not gonna vote for someone who you don't know. And if you do, you're a straight up idiot because you don't know what you're voting for. So I'm gonna give Colorado to him. Wait, I forgot one more thing. Hawaii would be solid blue. So actually, it would be 44 solid for the Democrats. I think Illinois would be likely. Because I think Trump's gonna have such a good second term, and Nikki Haley is gonna take that advantage and use it to the best of her ability. Also Virginia, Maine at large, okay, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey, and Delaware, and New York. Making sure I'm not forgetting anything. Now, likely for Republicans will be, no shocker here, Texas, Alaska. A part of me is telling Alaska is shifting kind of more Democrat. Oh yeah, I'm gonna leave Alaska as a toss-up right now. But I think Nikki Haley, she's gonna win Texas no matter what. I think that Dallas would be likely. And I think Arizona would be likely. Oh! And so Nebraska's first district. This is just very different to me because it's a different candidate, so I'm trying to figure all this out. But I do think that Dean Phillips has absolutely no appeal anywhere. So I actually think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think New York is going to shift toward Nikki Haley a little bit more, because if we saw in 2024, it shifted heavily towards Donald Trump. Now, I also did that Virginia, we can't even have Virginia on the map right now. Now let's go ahead and let's go to lean. And now for the lean, we're gonna go ahead and do Florida. Many people are asking why are we putting Florida in the lean column. Because I think Dean Phillips will have some appeal in Florida, which will kind of shift it more to the left in a way. Wait, 193 to 204. And Alaska, I think is gonna be lean. Right. Actually, yeah, I'm taking all these states back because these are all basically swing states. Now, I also do think that Ohio will be lean because I think that he will have a lot of appeal in Ohio, which is, without the MAGA movement, Ohio is very weak. And in 2028, Ohio is going to be put to the test. How strong will Ohio perform without the MAGA movement? Will it shift to the left like I think it will, depending on the candidate, or will it continue to move Republican? I think it's going to shift to the left. I think Ohio will be closer than many people expect it to be. I also think Iowa is going to be more in play than people think it will be. Now, we're now in the swing state column. Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Virginia, North Carolina, Georgia, and New Hampshire are all going to be swing states. So I'm gonna go ahead and say I think Dean Phillips is gonna do better in Nebraska's 2nd district, like the Democrats. Democrats, if you're looking to, yes, they run it by about the same margin. Now, New Mexico. Now, what state do we cover? This is difficult. This is difficult. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and make some projections. I think, call me a conspiracy theorist, but I think that New Hampshire will go to Nikki Haley, and she's at 223 to 194. Yeah, with Nikki Haley running New Hampshire, I don't see a path for Dean Phillips. Now, for Dean Phillips to win, he's gonna have to run. Oh. Yeah, I just don't see a path. I mean, there obviously is a path for Dean Phillips. I just don't see it very well. Look, we have 121, what is it? Likely. And 121 ties up. Now, Harris won Minnesota by a lean margin. But I do think, since he's from Minnesota, I think he's gonna win Minnesota. And a likely column. Yes, it's gonna be in a likely column. So okay. In 2028, there's gonna be a new blue wall and a new red wall. In 2028, the new blue wall will be Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. Same for Republicans. In 2028, your red wall is Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. And that is all that they would need to run. Now let's go ahead and make those ties up. Okay. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now there's 9 swing states left. I think. I do think Dean Phillips is gonna grind hard and Nevada, so I do think that he will flip Nevada. So look, now it's getting kind of tight. But I do think Nikki Haley is going to lose ground in Arizona, making it probably like a narrow victory. Now, New Mexico. Okay, everyone already knows, in 2028 New Mexico is going red. So I think New Mexico is going to be Nikki Haley's column. Man, she's doing better, I think, than well, no, she's not. Well, Nikki Haley is not doing better than Donald Trump. She's doing better than Trump in a few states: New York, New Hampshire, and New Mexico. But I'm not seeing anywhere else that Nikki Haley would overperform. Virginia, I do think, yes, he's gonna grind in Virginia, giving it a very narrow victory. So it will be a lean Democrat. Virginia will lean Democrat. Now, it all comes down to these 5 states. Like, this is what is confusing to me. Let's say that he won Pennsylvania. I have never seen Pennsylvania, Michigan, or Wisconsin not vote together. If you run Pennsylvania, you usually run Michigan and Wisconsin. However, Wisconsin can always flip. I'm just saying. Now, North Carolina. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and call it. I think Georgia will be run by the narrowest of margins in Georgia. You can see all the red and all the blue here on this map. Now there's only 4 states left. Now what happens if either candidate wins North Carolina, it puts them at 255, and they are well on the, okay. So all both candidates need is those 2 states. Or, yeah, you can't win that, okay. So, this is how both candidates win. Okay, so like they both have the exact same amount of electoral votes. I do believe that Wisconsin will go blue. Now this makes the paths so much more interesting with only 3 states left. I do think that Nikki Haley will win North Carolina, but narrowly. Now, it all comes, okay, so Pennsylvania puts Nikki Haley over the top, but it does not put him over the top. What happens if Dean Phillips wins both of those? Okay, Pennsylvania is more than likely gonna vote for Dean Phillips. We all know Pennsylvania, it usually votes together. Now, yes, I'm just gonna go ahead and call it. I do think that Dean, I think Nikki Haley is gonna win that state. I think Nikki Haley has very good appeal. So because of that, actually, I'm gonna change everything here. I think that he's gonna win those 2 states, but he's gonna, I think he's gonna lose Pennsylvania and win Michigan. Now, we are not projecting that Nikki Haley has been elected president, defeating Dean Phillips and denying Dean Phillips the presidency. This is historic. Nikki Haley becomes the first woman elected president of the United States. This is an election that no one saw coming. The fact that a woman has been elected president will shock the entire planet. Now, we can no longer use a sexism card. It is now in charge of a female leader. Now, over the next 4 years, how will Nikki Haley handle the economy and handle important key issues in the United States of America? In 4 years, it will be up to America. Do you want to keep a woman president, or do you want to get another man president? Let's look back at the election map. Just take a look at this map. Wow. Essentially, it all basically came down to Pennsylvania, which I feel like Pennsylvania has decided, like the last few presidential elections. So, because of this is the election maps. If you enjoyed, make sure to comment down below and let me know. If you want me to do it to where it's Dean Phillips and Ron DeSantis, let me know in the comment section down below. Wow. Yeah, this map looks pretty accurate. I can see this map actually happening. Anyways, thank you guys all for watching. If you want me to do a video where I go into more depth about it, let me know in the comment section down below. But I did accurately predict who would win the 2024 election and accurately predict 6 of the 7 swing states. I got Pennsylvania wrong. So I think you guys can trust me on this. I think Nikki Haley will become the next president of the United States in this simulation. Thank you guys all for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. And I'll see you guys in the next video for another banger. And as always, peace out and goodbye.